Hello, music makers. Welcome back. Are you sick of scrolling through presets, trying to find interesting leads? Or trying to make your own, but all of the waveforms sound boring? Then let me introduce you to a little concept called low frequency intermodulation distortion. Let's start with some FM. Frequency modulation is a form of intermodulation distortion. But we normally modulate from an oscillator which is higher than the one we are hearing, giving us those classic bell tones. But if we go the opposite way and mix in just a little, we can add a nice textured growl to this otherwise simple sound. Let's hear that on a square. Nice. Let's play around with some non-musical pitches. These are all octaves so far. What does something really close, like -2, sound like? Let's go even less musical. We can actually disable the pitch tracking of the first oscillator altogether, so it no longer follows the keys. That means each different note in this riff will now have a different type of distortion. Filthy. Square. Now, what if you don't want interference from a nice, neat sine wave? I've got some pink noise loaded into the noise oscillator at the bottom here. Sounds cool mixed in, but what if we used that as our modulation source? I don't think you can call that texture boring. Hey, guess what else makes a good low-frequency modulation source? How about a kick drum? Let's have a play with that pitch. Naughty. But FM isn't our only means of intermodulation distortion. We all know if we take an LFO and modulate pitch, we get pitch wobble or vibrato. But if we speed up this modulation source, let's take it from beats to seconds, and we can go even faster. And it doesn't really matter what we modulate with this. Let's try phase instead. How about FM amount? Nice. Let's try bend or pulse. There we go. I think this will sound even better on a square. Nice. Okay, let's back that off so I can show you the next one. There is another source of intermodulation distortion we can look at. Sample crushing. You're hearing the sound be modulated by the limits of the sample rate. Oh, and look, there's an LFO at the bottom. Let's crank it. Find a good sweet spot. If you want to be even more crazy, let's add back the bend LFO. Or, if this is all too much, we can always just use this as a layer to a normal waveform and mix it in for texture. Then the best bit is we can automate that layer as the track energy requires. Now, don't forget, this doesn't have to be a techno thing. Try this in other genres. With AI getting pretty good at making music now, the last thing we need is artists sounding exactly like their genre used to sound. So don't be afraid to experiment. And most importantly, don't forget, if you learned something or were inspired, show some appreciation in whichever way you see fit. And until next week, I will see you in the comments. Bye-bye.